If all one read of African history was European accounts, one would walk away with the belief that Africa, prior to colonialism, consisted of people living in bands, or groups, or herds, or families like wild animals. Such a reader would be oblivious to the nation states and kingdoms that existed on the African continent long before the British monarchy took shape. Those nation states were sophisticated with a strategized system of government, commercial hubs, military campaigns, conquering and being conquered by each other. The story of Queen Mother Yaa Asantewaa and the Ashanti Kingdom was one such kingdom and story. The truth about Africa from Africans. Yaa Asantewaa of Ashanti, 1840 to 1921. She takes the throne as Queen Regent after her son, who was chief, was exiled to Seychelles by the British colonizers. At the dawn of European colonialism, and just like her counterpart in other parts of Africa, she did her best to stem the tide of European invasion, much like the Native Americans in the 16th and 1700s. Colonialism spread like a plague and almost consumed the continent of Africa. But unlike Native Americans of what is now United States of America, the African spirit is indomitable and unyielding. We refuse to go quietly into the night of history, and that's why today Africa is still teeming with Africans in all their cultural, language, and cuisine diversity. Today, we focus on the story of Yaa Asantewaa of Ashanti, with the backdrop of this perspective in mind. Most historians and Europeans have referred to her as queen, but she was not a queen. The Ashanti Empire at the time was ruled by a conglomerate of chiefs who were rulers over various villages and communities which made up the Ashanti Kingdom. A case in point was Yaa's brother, Nana Akwazi Afren Opese, who was the chief of Ejisu, or in their language, the Edward Sehene of Ejisu. And as chief, he appointed Yaa to serve as Queen Mother under him. Yaa Asantewaa was born in 1840. As stated earlier, she was the Queen Mother of Ejisu in the Ashanti Empire, now part of modern-day Ghana. She's most remembered for leading the Ashanti military campaign against British colonialism in the 1900s. This is famously known as the War of the Golden Stool, also known as the Yaa Asantewaa's War. Yaa Asantewaa was the oldest of two children. Her brother, Afren Opese, became the chief of Ejisu. After a quiet childhood, she became a farmer and cultivated crops on the lands around Buankara. She entered a polygamous marriage with a man from Kumasi with whom she had a daughter. During her brother's reign, Yaa Asantewaa saw the Ashanti Confederacy go through a series of events that threatened its future, including civil war from 1883 to 1888. When her brother died in 1894, Yaa Asantewaa used her right as Queen Mother to nominate her own grandson as Ejisu Sehene. When the British exiled him to the Seychelles in 1896, along with the King of Ashanti, Premfer I, and other members of the Ashanti government, Yaa Asantewaa became regent of the Ejisu Juaben district. After the deportation of Premfer I, the British Governor General of the Gold Coast, Frederick Hudson, demanded the Golden Stool, the symbol of the Ashanti nation. This request led to a secret meeting series of secret meetings, actually, of the remaining members of the Ashanti government at Kumasi to discuss how to secure the return of their king. There were disagreements among those present on how to go about this. Yaa Asantewaa, who was present at this meeting, stood and addressed the members of the council with these now famous words. Quote, "How can a proud and brave people like the Ashanti sit back and look while white men took away their king and chiefs and humiliated them with a demand for the Golden Stool?" The Golden Stool only means money to the white man. They have searched and dug everywhere for it. "I shall not pay one proud one to the governor. If you, the chiefs of Ashanti, are going to behave like cowards and not fight, you should exchange your loincloths for my undergarments." End quote. History has it that Yaa Asantewaa, in proving her determination to go to war, seized a weapon at that moment. She seized a gun and fired a shot into the air in front of the men. On one occasion, she is quoted as saying, "Now I have seen that some of you fear to go forward to fight for our king. If it were in the days of the brave Osei Tutu, Okomfo Anokaye, and Opoku, where leaders would not sit down to see their king taken away without firing a shot. No white man could have dared to speak to a leader of the Ashanti in the way the governor spoke to you this morning. Is it true that the bravery of Ashanti is no more? I cannot believe it. It cannot be. I must say this. If you, the men of Ashanti, will not go forward, then we will. We, the women, will. I shall call upon my fellow women. We will fight the white man. We will fight till the last of us falls in the battlefields." End quote. The Ashanti male leadership did what men in Africa have done most of the time, to recognize when any person, be it a woman or a man, has the fire in their belly to lead the people to victory. Yaa Asantewaa was chosen by a number of regional Ashanti chiefs to be the war leader of the Ashanti fighting force. This is the first and only instance where a woman was given that role in Ashanti history. The Ashanti British War of the Golden Stool was led by Queen Mother Nana Yaa Asantewaa with an army of 5,000. Beginning in March 1900, the rebellion laid siege to the fort at Kumasi, where the British had sought refuge. The fort still stands today as the Kumasi Fort and Military Museum. After several months, the Gold Coast governor eventually sent a force of 1,400 men to quell the rebellion. During the fighting, Queen Yaa Asantewaa and 15 of her closest advisors were captured, and they too were sent into exile to the Seychelles. The rebellion represented the final war in the Anglo-Ashanti series of wars that lasted throughout the 19th century. On January 1st, 1902, the British fully seized the land that the Ashanti army had been defending. They seized it from them after they had held it for almost a century, and the Ashanti Empire was made a protectorate of the British Crown. Yaa Asantewaa died in exile in the Seychelles on October 17, 1921. 3 years after her death, in December of 1924, Prempeh I and the other remaining members of the exiled Ashanti court were allowed to return to Ashanti. Prempeh I made sure that the remains of Yaa Asantewaa and the other exiled Ashantis were returned for a proper royal burial. Yaa Asantewa's dream for an Ashanti free of British rule was realized on March 6, 1957, when the Ashanti Protectorate gained independence as part of Ghana. Ghana was the first African nation in sub-Saharan Africa to achieve this feat. Yaa Asantewaa understood the ramifications of British occupation. She is seen by Ghanaians today as a Queen Mother who exercised her political and social clout to help defend her kingdom. The role she played in influencing the Ashanti men to battle the British was a function of her matriarchal status. The experience of seeing a woman serving as political and military head of an empire was foreign to British colonial troops in the 19th century. Yaa Asantewa's call upon the women of the Ashanti Empire is based on the political obligations of Akan women and their respective roles in legislative and judicial processes. The hierarchy of male stools among the Akan, also known as the Ashanti people, was complemented by female counterparts who were responsible for looking after women affairs. Female stool occupants participated not only in the judicial and legislative processes, but also in the making and unmaking of war and the distribution of land. Yaa Asantewaa is today immortalized in songs with lyrics as follows. Yaa Asantewaa, the woman who fights before cannons, you have accomplished great things, you have done well. These songs are common in today's Ghana. The importance of encouraging more female leaders in Ghanaian society was highlighted by the establishment of the Yaa Asantewa's Girls Secondary School at Kumasi in 1960. This establishment was funded from the Ghana Education Trust. In the year 2000, a week-long centennial celebration was held in Ghana to acknowledge Yaa Asantewa's accomplishments. As part of these celebrations, a museum was dedicated to her at Kwaso in the Ejisu Ben district on August 3, 2000. Unfortunately, a fire on July 23, 2004 destroyed several historical items, including her sandals and battle dress. The lineage of the Queen Mother in Ghana is still actively occupied and recognized today. The current Queen Mother of the Ashanti Kingdom is Nana Ama Konadu Yadom III. She is the eldest daughter of the late Nana Afia Kobi Sewa Ampem II and the 13th Asantehama, or Queen Mother, since Yaa Asantewaa. She was installed in 2017. Yaa Asantewaa died in the Seychelles in 1921. She was a successful farmer and mother. She was an intellectual, a politician, a human rights activist, a queen regent, and a leader. Yaa Asantewaa embodied the spirit of African women who have long held positions of power and influence. This was strange to Europeans, but very commonplace to the Ashantis and the African continent at large. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Which other lost queens of African history do you want to see next? Let's uncover them together.